This is Joe Malone. It is the Bulls Chat podcast, and with me, the head coach, the general manager, Todd Sanden of the North Iowa Bulls. Coach, thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate the opportunity to be on the air with you.
So we are enjoying a beautiful spring day. It's supposed to get up to 50 today, and the only thing hotter than the weather is the North Iowa Bulls. The Bulls are 11-4 since the start of February. I mean, can you feel that when you walk into the building, when you see the team, when you have a practice? Like, things are good.
Yeah, I love the energy of that and the correlation, too, with the spring weather warming up. It's like these kids have been playing really well for, I want to go back to it's probably 15, 16 weeks. We've been in this process of playing the game the right way. And really, in like you say, in the last 15 games, they really benefited in the win column for it.
Now the Bulls are 8-2 when you go through the last 10. Which has put you up with some of the best in the league in the past 10 games. And it has been, some of the games have been a battle to continue to put up W's in the column. I want to go back a couple of weekends here to the series at Minot against the Minotauros. Saturday night in a game that apparently there was some question on whether it would be played or not because of blizzard conditions in Minot. At a point in the game, the Bulls are down 4-1 in the second. Are you thinking, I wish that the blizzard would have called this one off at that point?
Yeah, no, it's, the score being 4-1, our bench was still really positive. Like, there was a lot of time left in the game. And I think this group has an ability to stay positive in adversity. So, like, the message on the bench was, at the player level, was very positive. Coach Murphy and I were just like, hey, we got a lot of game. You got to get them back one at a time. Like, let's just dig in here and go to work.
And then you made a switch at goalie and put in Carney. And Carney, he faces a barrage in just a couple of minutes. Stops, I believe, 5 shots over the course of 3 minutes, and then picked up an injury, at which point you got to go you go back to Day. And Day, night and day between, the first half of the game and then the second half of the game, where he ends up shutting out Minot. Bulls put up 4 goals, end up winning this thing 5-4. Are you like, let's just get out of here? That was crazy.
The whole thing with the goaltending situation, we weren't disappointed in Mitch's in his game that night. He had some very unfortunate bounces. And you make that change to kind of spark your team, right? And Stefan Carney went in, and he was outstanding for the small period of the game that he went into. And quite honestly, he made 5 saves, 3 of them which were hard saves. They could have been in the back of the net, and we really could have been in big trouble. But Stefan came up big, and then unfortunately tweaked something lower body and had to come out. And Mitch went back in, and like you said, Mitch just closed the door on him.
Then you return home, taking on Aberdeen this past weekend, and Friday night you found yourself in another come-from-behind situation, this time coming back in the third with defense, providing a majority of the offense. Joe Sweeney, Landon Peterson, he had 2 goals in that game, and it's like, hey, take them where you can get them, right?
Yeah, and you look at the way we play. We want our D-core to activate offensively, and really on the Sweeney goal and the tying goal, Joe had a great ozone activation and slid down and caught a pass and ripped one on net to beat their goaltender. And then Landon Peterson's game winner. I mean, Blake Ovi wins the draw, and PD takes a quick step inside and lets it rip, and just it finds its way to the back of the net. So it's great when you can have the secondary scoring and getting your defenseman involved in that. I mean, it makes the whole group that much more engaged.
Now, with the win on Friday night, the come-from-behind win, and then the shutout on Saturday for the Bulls, you end the season, regular season against Aberdeen, 8-4, 8 wins, 4 losses against the Wings. And talk about a turnaround. I went through last year. The Bulls were 2-10 against Aberdeen. Now, granted, players change, things change, but to have that big of a swing in a division matchup is massive.
Yeah, I think it's like we're an older team this year. We're we're still young, but I mean, we had a lot of kids that returned, and we gained the benefit of those kids playing in those situations, and like they performed. I mean, Max Scott was a monster in that. Byron Hartley, Logan Dombrowski, Simone Daddier, Jack Messick. Like, a lot of these returning players really did a lot of damage against Aberdeen last weekend.
Now, if my math is correct here, you got Minot coming in to finish off the regular season series against them this Friday and Saturday. If you get 2 regulation wins against Minot and then just pick up 2 more points in the final 6 games against Bismarck, the Bulls are locked into a playoff spot somewhere in the top 4. How much of that is top of mind for you going into this weekend, or are you just treating it like 2 more games?
No, I tell you what, I'm pretty simple with my math. It's 1 game at a time. Like, you have to get 2 points at a time. So, looking at magic numbers and that kind of stuff, I really haven't even broken it down to that degree. I suppose a guy should, but I mean, my mentality's always been to just play them 1 at a time.
Now, with the last 8 games, you got 2 against Minot, and then it's at Bismarck, Bismarck at North Iowa, at Bismarck again. Bismarck and Minot are 2 teams on the outs looking to get back into the playoff seeding. Do you see a different attitude or effort from teams that are kind of in desperation win now? Playoffs are now mode.
Yeah, of course, and I think that's something that you go into with a mindset that they are going to play desperate. Early in games and late in periods, like they're going to come, they're going to be going. So, I mean, if we can't exceed their desperation, we certainly have to try to match it somehow and make sure that we're ready to go at the drop of the puck for every game.
Yeah, and if this weekend's games against Minot are anything like a couple of weekends ago, fans are going to be in for a treat at the Mason City Arena.
Yeah, this is a pretty good matchup. Like, these 2 teams get up and down the rink pretty well, and the games have been really good between these 2 teams.
Looking forward to it. Head coach, general manager Todd Sanden, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Joe. I look forward to packing the barn this weekend with Minot in town.